The puzzle of reality is deeper than we think. What we see, the space we walk through, even time as we know it, may not exist in the way we believe. Everything we label as real is shaped by something much bigger than just physical stuff. Consciousness isn't just sitting back, it's the creator. For ages, we've been told that reality exists on its own and that we're just spectators witnessing a story unfold. But what if that's the biggest trick of all? What if merely observing helps create the stage for reality? Science and mysticism, two worlds often seen as opposites, are whispering the same truths. The observer is not separate from what's being observed. You are not just a spectator in the universe. You're a vital part of its unfolding mystery. The universe isn't some fixed entity out there. It changes, bends, and takes form in relation to our awareness. The American scientist John Wheeler dove into this. He explored these ideas, aiming to peel back the layers of existence. What if reality isn't made of particles, but from how we perceive? What if the physical world is just a shadow of something much deeper, something built not from matter, but from mind? What if the universe is actually a thought? These aren't just philosophical musings. They can transform how you view yourself, your life, and your connection to everything else. The answers aren't out there. They start with you. In this first chapter, we see reality isn't a solid structure. It's dynamic, alive, and intricately connected to observation. Everything you see, touch, and believe to be out there isn't independent. It's a reflection, an echo of consciousness itself. The universe doesn't just unfold by itself, it's molded by the awareness that perceives it. For so long, we were taught that the cosmos is an objective machine, indifferent to our existence, where space and time stretch endlessly, ruled by fixed laws that our thoughts can't affect. But what if that's a grand illusion? What if the universe is actually a vibrant conversation between consciousness and creation? This isn't just a spiritual notion, it's a major shift in thinking that modern physics supports. At the tiniest levels of existence, particles don't act like little billiard balls rolling around. Instead, they live in a world of pure possibility, waves of potential that are neither here nor there, neither real nor imaginary, until someone looks at them. The instant consciousness interacts with these particles, they take shape and become real. This is the big mystery. Observation doesn't just show us reality, it actually shapes it. Think about it. The universe isn't like a scripted play. It's more like an improv show, responding to the awareness that's experiencing it. If that's true on the quantum scale, what does it mean for everything else? Could it be that everything, matter, energy, even time, exists in a state of potential waiting to be seen? What if the universe isn't just unfolding on its own, but is participating with us in a dance of creation? The implications are huge. What if mountains, rivers, stars, and galaxies, even past and future moments, aren't set in stone but are shaped by consciousness? What if, before there was awareness, there was nothing solid at all, just an endless sea of possibilities waiting for someone to give them form? This captures the idea of a participatory universe, one that exists not despite us, but because of us. Science has long chased the question, what is reality made of? The deeper we dig, the stranger things get. The tiniest bits of matter don't behave like we expect. They flicker in and out of existence, reacting to being observed as if they know they're being watched. Even light, a key part of reality, sometimes acts like a particle and sometimes like a wave. It shifts and adapts, never pinned down until a conscious observer measures it. This idea doesn't stop with physics. If reality is mostly informational, then maybe consciousness isn't just part of it. It's what holds it all together. Take a moment to think. If the universe's building blocks react to observation, what's driving that observation? Could it be that awareness isn't just a side effect of the universe, but its very source? If the universe needs us to witness it to take form, then here's a deep question. Was there even a universe before awareness? This puzzle has puzzled thinkers and mystics for ages, with some traditions suggesting that reality itself is. What if existence isn't out there, but rather an endless dream woven from consciousness itself? Maybe it's not that awareness comes after existence, but that awareness sparks existence. This isn't just some abstract idea, it changes how we view everything. If consciousness creates reality, then the world doesn't just happen to us, it flows through us. Could it be that the universe comes alive every time we look at it? Reality doesn't just tick by like a clock. It pulses into being with every glance, every touch, every thought we have. If the observer isn't apart from what's observed, then reality is a shared experience at its core. We're not just passive onlookers in this grand play, we're co-creators. Imagine waking up in a room full of mirrors, each one showing you a different view. Every movement, every breath, every flicker of thought ripples through those mirrors. When you reach out, the reflections shift, not because they're separate from you, but because they respond to you. Now picture that this isn't just a metaphor, but the very essence of reality, that the universe is like a hall of mirrors, reflecting back consciousness in many forms. Here's the twist. We often search for truth outside ourselves, but we're the ones building it. We look to the stars for meaning, but it's our awareness that lights them up. We think of the universe as a puzzle to be solved, but really, we are part of the answer. For ages, we've seen ourselves as isolated in the cosmos, tiny beings drifting through a vast, uncaring space. But that illusion is fading. The line between you and the world is becoming clearer, revealing something amazing. There's no divide between the observer and the observed. There never was. The trees outside, the sky above, the people you meet, your thoughts, they all belong to one endless awareness. Your mind isn't just inside the universe. The universe exists within your mind. This realization doesn't make reality less real. It makes it more vibrant. It shows that every little thing matters. Every moment we perceive isn't just an experience, it's an act of creation. You're not just watching the universe unfold, you're writing its story. If reality involves participation, then how we see the world isn't just a reflection, it's a choice. Will you see a cold, mechanical world or a living cosmos that listens and responds? The world isn't fixed. It's always changing, reacting to who's observing it. So if reality takes shape through our awareness, what will you create? Let's talk about the illusion of separation. You are not separate from the universe. You never were. The notion that you're just a lone being wandering through a huge, uncaring cosmos, that's the biggest illusion of all. Everything you see, everything you touch, everyone you meet, it's all part of you. The lines you think exist between you and the world, they're just tricks of perception. From the moment we're born, we're taught to see ourselves as separate individuals, boxed in by our skin. We label ourselves, create identities, and see the world as something apart from us, something external. But what if that's not the truth? What if it's just a way of seeing, a lens that twists the reality? Beneath all that illusion, could there be only oneness? Perception isn't just passive, it's an act of creation. How you see the world shapes your experience of it. Close your eyes for a moment. Picture yourself floating in an infinite dark space. No walls, no ground, no sky, just endless vastness all around you. In that moment, there's no separation between you and the space. No boundaries exist because nothing is defining them. Now picture a single point of light appearing in the distance. Suddenly there's a here and a there, a self and an other. With just one reference point, duality is born. This is how our minds create reality. The moment we divide, we bring about opposites, subject and object, inner and outer, self and world. But this division, it's not real. It's a perception we impose. Without these conceptual boundaries, what's left? Just unity, just the whole seamless existence. The illusion of separation isn't just a thought trick, it's the foundation of our human experience. We see the sun and think it's far away, millions of miles off. We hear a sound and assume it's separate from the ears that pick it up. But what if distance itself is an illusion? What if the light, the sun, doesn't move to reach you? It unfolds right in your awareness. What if the sounds you hear are intertwined with the very consciousness that perceives them? Science backs up what mystics have known all along. There's nothing out there independent of the observer. The act of seeing, touching, and knowing is what brings things into existence. If that's true, then the world isn't just something you pass through, it's something that flows through you. The stars above, the ground below, even the air in your lungs, they're all part of you, extensions of your being. That connection we feel to the night sky, the ocean, or a child's laughter, it's a reminder of something deeper, something beyond words and logic, a flicker of recognition of a truth we've forgotten. We aren't fragments, we're the whole looking back at itself. Look around you. The same consciousness inside you reflects in every tree, every face, every gust of wind. The idea of being separate is just a myth. The same presence that fuels your dreams fills the gaps between you and the world outside. There's no divide between what you experience and who you are. You feel the world within yourself, not the other way around. Think about it. When a drop of water falls into the ocean, where does it stop being a drop and start being part of the ocean? The lines blur. That divide was never real. It was just a label for something that's always been interconnected. An individual self is just a temporary ripple in the vast ocean of existence. For a while, the ripple thinks it's separate from everything around it, but eventually it remembers. It's always been water, always whole. This illusion of separation leads us to fear, suffering, and longing. We feel alone because we've forgotten that we aren't. We search for meaning without realizing we are the meaning itself. But when this illusion fades, something amazing happens. Fear dissipates, loneliness vanishes, and all that remains is pure recognition, an endless expanse of connection. Imagine if you let go of every label, every name, and every idea about yourself. What would be left? Not nothingness, but everything. Not emptiness, but infinite presence. You're not just in a body or stuck in a mind. You are the space where all things come to life. The universe doesn't exist apart from you. It exists because of you. Here's the paradox. The moment you stop looking for something outside of yourself, you realize you've always been there. Finding truth isn't about heading out, it's about awakening within. The boundary of separation is incredibly thin. So thin that just a small shift in how you see things can break it down. Think about it. Where do you end and the world begin? Close your eyes. Does the universe vanish, or does it continue, existing not outside you but within the infinite awareness that you are? The answer has always been right here, not in books or theories, not in distant galaxies. It's present in this moment, in the space between these words and you, the reader. There's no separation. There never was. Now consider this. Reality isn't just made of matter, it's made of meaning. The world around you, the things you touch, the body you live in, none of these are as solid and separate as they seem. They exist as relationships, as patterns of information organized in ways that our consciousness can understand. Everything you see is the result of a deeper, invisible truth, information. For ages, we thought the universe was built from tiny, indestructible particles, like a house made of bricks. We imagined that beneath all the complexity, there was a solid, unchanging foundation. But as we explored deeper, splitting atoms and peering into the fabric of existence, we discovered something surprising. Matter turns into energy, and energy transforms into probability. At the tiniest scale, there are no solid objects, only choices, answers waiting for questions yet to be asked. At its essence, the universe isn't a rigid machine. It's something much more fluid and mysterious. It's a dialogue, an unfolding of possibilities that only take shape when we recognize them. Reality, at its core, doesn't come from anything solid. It emerges from information. What exactly is information? It's the answer to a question, the way we resolve uncertainty. A single yes or no is the simplest piece of knowledge we have, and from those little choices, all the complexity around us comes to life. Think about it. The stars overhead, the cells in your body, the thoughts swirling in your mind, they all connect in an endless web of interactions. It's like a vast network of meaning that flows through everything, almost like a living current. Without information, there would be no reality. If there's nothing known, then nothing exists. This perspective shifts everything. The universe isn't just a cold, indifferent place. It's an act of knowing. If reality is merely a tapestry of information, then what does that say about you? You're not just watching this system, you're part of it. You're a conscious player in this grand unfolding of existence. The world doesn't just happen to you. It happens through you, shaped by your own awareness. If reality is all about information, then what we call matter is just one way to interpret that information. The physical world, the solidity of objects, even time, they're not ultimate truths. They're like interfaces, filters that consciousness uses to find meaning. The screen in front of you, the words you're reading, and even the thoughts forming in your mind, they're all layers of information interacting with each other. They merge to create an experience that seems real because it's recognized. If the universe is made of information, then reality is much more fluid than we think. The walls around you, the sky above, everything in space and time is a construct, a pattern of data woven together to make sense to our minds. But what happens when the mind shifts? When the filters change or the interpretation of that information alters? The reality you perceive changes too. This is where the power of belief comes into play. If reality is shaped by participation, then your beliefs, the things you hold true, shape the reality you experience. Your mind doesn't just make sense of the universe, it helps create it. Think about a dream. While you're in it, the world feels real. The places, the people, the events, they all seem as solid and meaningful as anything in your waking life. But a dream exists solely in thought. Imagine a reality built entirely by your mind, a reality created from information turned into experiences. Now think about this. What's really the difference between dreaming and living? What if both are just pieces of information, shaped differently in your mind? The reality you see is just a reflection of where you put your focus. When you believe in limits, you see limitations all around you. But when you believe in possibilities, the world opens up. Clinging to fear, reality will throw that right back at you. Your consciousness isn't separate. It's woven into everything around you. The world doesn't tell you what to see. It reacts to what you believe. That's a big secret right in front of you. You're not just a bystander in a cold, uncaring universe. The rules you think control your life are just agreements, patterns backed by what most people believe. Change your mindset, and you change your world. Now picture the universe as a vast ocean, full of potential and endless possibilities, waiting for you to dive in. Every drop of water holds bits of reality that are waiting to be noticed, selected, or created. Think of your awareness as a spotlight, highlighting certain drops while leaving others in the shadows. Your attention turns thoughts into reality. Ignoring something keeps it out of sight. That's the strength of how you perceive things and what you believe. If everything is just information, and if your consciousness can shape that information, then your mind isn't just a receiver, it's a creator. It doesn't magically pull things from thin air, it picks which possibilities to make real. The future is fluid, a shifting landscape shaped by every choice you make. This idea is huge. If everything is information and consciousness shapes it, then reality is way more flexible, alive, and responsive than we ever thought. The universe isn't some lifeless machine, following rigid rules. It's a living, breathing field of meaning, a dialogue between your awareness and all those infinite possibilities around you. Look around right now. The chair you're sitting on, the walls around you, the air filling your lungs, these are all part of that dance of reality. Things might seem solid and unchanging, but if you dig a little deeper, they're just patterns of meaning. They're arrangements of information flowing through your awareness. And that awareness, that's you. You're not separate from reality. You are the knowing that shapes it. So instead of asking what reality is made of, the real question is, what reality will you create? Now, let's look at the observer's influence. Reality bends to the presence of the observer. The world doesn't unfold in a rigid, predictable way. It shifts, morphs, and responds, like an endless sea of possibilities just waiting for your focus to bring them into being. The idea that our thoughts are passive, that the mind is isolated from the material world, is one of the biggest lies we've ever accepted. You're not separate from the universe you see. You're part of the mechanism that gives it shape. Every moment, with every thought, something's happening beneath the surface of existence. Just by observing, by directing your attention towards something, you change the very structure of reality. In the subatomic world, particles pop in and out of existence, acting like waves of possibility until we measure them. But what's a measurement? It's simply an act of knowing, a moment when awareness turns uncertainty into something real. Without observation, there's no fixed outcome, just a sea of potential. This truth isn't just for tiny particles. If reality is participatory, then nothing remains untouched by consciousness. The objects you see, the events around you, even the path of your life, all influenced by where you direct your attention. The world doesn't just move around you, it moves with you. For centuries, mystics have talked about a hidden force in the mind, a power that shapes the world around us like wind shapes the sand. They called it will, intention, the divine spark of creation within us. What science is just beginning to glimpse, the ancients always knew. What you focus on expands, and what you believe manifests. The universe isn't something imposed on you, it reflects what's inside you. Here's a simple truth. Where you place your attention, reality responds to you. The patterns of thought you dwell on shape the world around you. Your mind acts as a lens through which you view the world. Step into a room full of strangers. If you expect to be rejected, you'll see coldness in their gazes. But if you expect warmth, you'll see smiles. So what's the real difference? Is it in them or is it in you? The world doesn't just show you what it is, it reveals what you're ready to see. Now think bigger. What if our thoughts don't just shape how we see things, but they actually change the world around us? If reality, at its essence, is all about information instead of just stuff, then our intentions aren't just private thoughts. They're forces that connect with everything that exists. Time after time, studies have hinted that focused consciousness can affect real, physical outcomes in ways that seem unbelievable. From how we influence random number generators to how group meditation can lower crime rates, there are hints that our minds aren't just locked away in our heads. The more we explore, the more we realize consciousness isn't trapped in the world. The world is actually contained within our consciousness. So what is manifesting? It's just an extension of this idea. To manifest isn't about pulling something out of thin air or breaking nature's rules. It's about syncing up with the core structure of reality itself. When you hold a clear vision and your mind stays focused, reality starts to shift in that direction. Pathways light up, synchronicities pop up. What once felt impossible starts to feel like it's destined to happen. This isn't magic or make-believe. It's recognizing that attention is the root from which reality sprouts. There's no randomness in a conscious universe. Events don't just happen on their own. What seems like coincidence often stems from hidden forces, energy and meaning aligning with your deep thoughts and feelings. Have you ever thought of someone only for them to call you out of the blue? Or talked about an idea, then noticed it everywhere? A skeptic might call it chance, but someone who gets it will say it's alignment. The biggest power in creation is the power of focus. A scattered mind, jumping from thought to thought, creates little. But a clear, centered mind, unwavering in its vision, that's the mind that can move mountains. The mind doesn't just watch reality, it shapes it. When your focus is strong and your beliefs are solid, the outside world starts to align with what you hold inside. That's why people who expect to fail often do, and those who expect to succeed usually create success. Fear leads to more fear, while faith brings more faith. The universe doesn't argue or push back, it just mirrors what you project. Doubt is the major disruptor. Once uncertainty creeps in, the signal gets scrambled, and possibilities shrink back into randomness. This is why those who create things effortlessly believe without contradiction. Manifesting isn't just about wishing, it's about knowing, seeing the outcome as inevitable, feeling it as real already. The strongest creators are those who make decisions, not those who just hope. This isn't superstition, it's a fundamental truth about existence. Your mind isn't separate from reality, it's woven into it. The observer isn't outside the observed, they're the spark, the catalyst. So what does this mean for you? If reality reacts to your focus, if your thoughts and intentions shape the world around you, the question shifts from what's possible to what are you choosing to see right now? An infinite number of realities exist. Some are filled with limits, others with endless possibilities. Which one will come to life? That's not random, it's up to you. Recognizing this truth means stepping past the illusion of powerlessness. The world isn't just happening to you, it's happening through you. The future isn't something that happens outside your control, it forms in response to your awareness. So here's the simple question. If you are the observer and your focus shapes reality, what will you create? Chapter 5. Time, Space, and the Mind. Time isn't what you think. You see it as a steady flow, carrying you from the past to the future, shaping everything you do. But what if that flow is just an illusion? What if past, present, and future don't unfold in order, but coexist in a way we haven't fully understood? What if time itself isn't? Time is something we move through, but it's also a construct of our minds to help us understand our existence. We often think time is absolute. It's woven into how we see the world. We measure it, track it, and tie ourselves to it like it's an unchangeable reality. We believe the past is fixed, the present is fleeting, and the future is unwritten. But the more we dig into it, the more we realize time isn't just a straight river. It's not rigid. It's a field of endless possibilities shaped by what we observe. At the smallest level, particles behave differently than we expect. Choices made now can affect what seems to have happened in the past. A measurement taken today can change our understanding of what occurred before it. Reality doesn't flow linearly from cause to effect, like a cosmic clock ticking away. Instead, it bends, loops, and rearranges based on our awareness. If time can be reshaped, and if the past and future aren't fixed moments but a web of possibilities, what does that mean for how we live? Our minds don't just watch time, they create it. From birth, we're taught to see life as a straight path, each event following another in an unbreakable line. But that's not a universal truth. It's just how consciousness works. Our brains, like a film projector, take the messy, nonlinear data of existence and turn it into a story. We don't feel time as it actually is. We feel it as we expect it to be. What if we could shift how we process time? Would time change too? There are moments when this illusion shatters. Times when it no longer feels like a steady flow, but instead stretches, shrinks, and even fades away. In deep meditation, during near-death experiences, or moments of deep understanding, people talk about states beyond time, where past, present, and future aren't separate but merge into one. They describe experiencing events all at once, knowing things before they happen, and encountering a reality where time isn't a sequence but a dimension we can enter from any angle. What if these transcendent moments aren't just tricks of the mind, but glimpses into a deeper truth? What if linear time is just one way to experience reality, a convenience for our minds rather than a strict rule? Imagine standing at the edge of an infinite ocean, with endless possibilities stretching out before you. Imagine an island and think you need to travel through time to get there. But what if that island is already right here? What if it's just your perception creating the distance? If time isn't an outside force, but rather a structure within your consciousness, then how you interact with time is crucial. The future isn't a far-off place waiting for you. It exists already as potential, shifting and reshaping based on where you focus your attention right now. And the past? It's not set in stone. It's a collection of information that, like any pattern, can change depending on how you observe it. Ever looked back at a moment in your life and realized it wasn't quite what you remembered? That a memory that once caused you pain can, with time, turn into wisdom? The past isn't just what happened, it's how you perceive it now. If the past can change, if the future isn't predetermined, and if time is a mental construct, what does that say about reality? It means you're not trapped by time like you've been told. Your life's story isn't written in stone. You have control over time. Time doesn't control you. Some claim they've bent time, caught glimpses of futures before they happened, or felt moments where time stood still. Are these just tricks of the mind, or moments where the illusion of time faded, revealing a deeper truth? If you could step outside of time, what would you see? Would you find every moment of your life happening all at once? Would you understand how your choices ripple through everything, shaping both the future and the past? You'd realize the you from yesterday and the you from tomorrow aren't separate. They're part of a single timeless awareness. The implications are huge. If time isn't an external force but a perception, then life isn't just a one-way journey. Engaging with time, thinking about the past, and looking toward the future is a creative act. The choices you make now don't just push you forward. They reshape your entire existence. So how will you choose to engage? Will you keep seeing time as this force that pulls you along, shaping your destiny, or will you see it differently? Time is something you engage with, responding to how aware you are. The answer has been waiting for you, just beyond the illusion. Time isn't moving, you are. And when that clicks, everything shifts. Chapter 6, The Light Behind Consciousness. There's something behind your thoughts, a watcher, an awareness. It's not that voice in your head, nor is it the endless stream of opinions and fears. It's not your name or your memories or even your body. It's something deeper, silent, formless, infinite. This is the light behind consciousness. For as long as you can remember, you've identified with yourself, a mix of thoughts, feelings, and experiences that define who you think you are. This self has a story, a past, a future, along with preferences and fears. It fights to hold on to its identity, afraid of disappearing, afraid of the unknown. But what if this isn't your true self? What if it's just a mask, a changing play of perceptions, while the real you stays hidden? Look closely. Thoughts come and go, you see them. Emotions rise and fall, and yet you notice them. If you truly were your thoughts, who is the one watching them? If you were your emotions, who is the observer of their presence and absence? There's something deep down, something constant, something vast. You're not separate from this awareness. You've just been distracted from it. You've been told you're just the thinker of thoughts, not the space in which thoughts appear. There are moments, fleeting but powerful, when the illusion of separation cracks. Maybe you've felt it during deep stillness, under a wide night sky or in the quiet after a storm, moments when the sense of I disappears, yet something remains. A knowing, an openness, a presence so profound it goes beyond words. Non-dual consciousness is this, the realization that you are the cosmos experiencing itself, not just one person in this universe. There's no line between self and world. The mind creates that illusion. This illusion is a trick of perception that makes us turn inward and ask, who am I? The ego fights against this idea. It thrives on division, on the belief that you're a separate individual existing in the world. It clings tightly to its definitions and forms, scared of fading away. But the truth is, the ego is just a made-up set of thoughts pretending to be the self. When you see it for what it really is, you break free and discover something vast, timeless, and beyond words. Experiencing this truth is like waking up from a dream. The mind resists this awakening because it's trained to grab onto labels and concepts. But this isn't something you can just think your way through. Awakening is about changing how you see things, stepping back from identifying with the self and moving into the limitless awareness that's always been there. Once this shift happens, everything shifts. The world doesn't change, you do. The feeling of separation fades away. The universe isn't just happening out there, it's happening within you, as you. This is why those who have touched this truth often describe a deep sense of peace, freedom, and love. Without the illusion of being separate, there's nothing to fear. Without an ego to protect, what's left is the beautiful unfolding of existence, perfect in its imperfections. The self, which once felt so crucial, is seen as a fleeting thought in the vast sea of awareness. Many worry that waking up means losing something. They think stepping beyond the ego will strip away their identity. But it's the opposite. Awakening isn't about losing the self. It's about expanding beyond it. You were never small or limited, never just one body, one name, or one story. You've always been everything. The mind fights back asking, if there's no self, then who am I? But that question is a trap. It assumes you must be something, that reality must fit into words and thoughts. The answer goes beyond all of that. It can't be spoken, only truly known. So look right now. Are you your name, your past, your body? Or are you the awareness that sees all of it? If thoughts vanished, memories faded, and all labels were gone, what would remain? If you were to vanish, something would still linger, something silent, radiant, and endless. This is the light within consciousness. It's not separate from you. It's what you've always been. Recognizing it means recalling what was never really forgotten, only hidden by the chatter of the mind. Once you see it, you can't unsee it. Life goes on, the world keeps turning, but everything feels different. The weight of self starts to fade, fear loses its grip. Reality shifts from something that happens to you into something that flows through you. In that moment of understanding, the greatest truth comes to light. The peace, the hope, the feeling of home you've sought isn't out there. It's always been right here, waiting for you. It isn't in the past or future. It exists in this moment, in the stillness between thoughts, where the self fades away and only existence remains. You're not becoming someone new. You're not reaching for anything outside yourself. You're simply waking up to what's always been there. Now think about how the questions we ask shape the answers we receive. Reality doesn't just hand us answers, it responds to the questions we put out there. Every experience, every insight, every discovery isn't just something we receive, It's shaped by the questions we ask before them. The universe doesn't unfold in a set, pre-made pattern. It bends according to where we direct our attention. If you want different answers, you have to ask different questions. Since childhood, we've been taught to see the world a certain way. We inherit beliefs, assumptions, and rules about what's possible. We're told what to pursue and what to overlook. But what if the biggest limit isn't the world itself, but the questions we miss asking? What if the depth of our reality depends not on outside forces, but on the curiosity we bring to it? Someone who wonders, "Why is the world against me?" will find countless reasons to support that belief. On the other hand, a person who asks, "How can I go with the flow of life?" will discover paths towards clarity and growth. The mind acts like a searchlight, highlighting what it's set to find. The question serves as the map, guiding where the answers will lead. If you believe the universe is chaotic and without meaning, that's exactly what you'll encounter. Everywhere you look, there's evidence of chaos. If you see reality as smart and responsive, you'll start spotting synchronicities, patterns, and a hidden intelligence weaving through everything. It's the same world, but there are two vastly different realities. The change isn't in what's out there, it's about the questions we ask that shape how we see things. Curiosity opens up our consciousness. When the mind stops questioning, thinking it already knows, it becomes a closed-off system, cut off from new insights and stuck in its beliefs. But an open mind, one that greets each moment with curiosity instead of certainty, will witness reality unfolding in unimaginable ways. It's not the answers that change a person, it's the willingness to ask questions. Some of history's biggest breakthroughs didn't come from those who just accepted the world as it seemed. They came from those brave enough to ask, "What if there's more?" What if space and time aren't set in stone? What if the observer really does influence reality? What if consciousness isn't just in the brain, but the brain is within consciousness? These weren't just statements, they were questions, and the universe responded. On a personal level, the quality of your life connects directly to the kinds of questions you ask about it. Do you wonder, "Why am I stuck?" Or do you think, "How can I grow from this?" Do you focus on, "What's wrong with me?" Or consider, "What inside me seeks to be understood?" These tiny shifts matter. They separate a mind trapped by limitations from one that expands into a deeper awareness. Spiritual awakening isn't about accumulating more knowledge. It's about letting go of false beliefs. It's not about adding to what you know, but unlearning what restricts your perception. That starts with inquiry. Who am I really? Where do my thoughts come from? Is my awareness something personal, or is it part of a bigger picture? Each question peels away layers, showing that the boundaries we thought were solid aren't as firm as they seem. That's why wisdom traditions highlight open-ended questions over strict doctrines. A rigid answer is a dead end. But a question, that's a doorway. When we say, "This is how things are," we shut ourselves off from deeper understanding. But when we ask, "What else is possible?" the doors to exploration swing wide open. Reality starts to change. The biggest illusion? Thinking we already know it all. The real power lies in our ability to wonder. Our minds often resist this openness because they crave certainty. We want answers, solid structures we can trust. But here's the catch. Certainty is just an illusion. Grasping onto it only limits us. True understanding is flexible, adaptable, always moving. The wisest among us aren't those who claim to have all the answers. They're the ones who's curious, open to new revelations. This isn't just a fancy idea, it applies to every part of our lives. If you think a situation is hopeless, ask yourself, is there something I'm not seeing? If you feel stuck, question, what am I not willing to challenge? Want to broaden your perspective? Ask, what assumptions have I never looked at? Reality doesn't hide the truth. It simply waits for the right question to be asked. The paradox is this. The deeper you delve, the more you find that truth isn't out there. It reveals itself through you. The journey of questioning shows that the observer and the observed are intertwined. The answers weren't hidden, they were just overlooked because the right questions hadn't been raised. So ask. Ask without fear. Don't seek immediate certainty. Don't rush to conclusions. Instead, aim to dissolve the limits that cloud your vision. The questions you raise will shape how you see the world, and in turn, that world will shape your reality. Chapter 7. The questions we ask shape the answers we get. The reality you live isn't just handed to you, it's molded by your inquiries. Every moment of your life passes through an invisible filter, the quiet questions your mind asks about the world, yourself, and what's possible. These questions are subtle, deeply rooted in your perception, often unnoticed, yet they dictate everything. If you think the world is hostile, every event will support that belief. But if you believe the universe is guiding you, every moment will feel synchronistic. The difference isn't in the world itself, but in how we inquire about it. Reality is participatory. It doesn't sit in a fixed state, waiting for us to observe it in the same way. It unfolds in response to the observer. What you focus on shapes your reality. What you're seeking, you'll find. What you believe to be true, life reflects back to you. The questions and answers are intertwined. Changing the question changes the experience. This is a significant secret right in front of you. Your mind continuously chats with life, starting the moment you wake up. You might wonder, why is my life like this? What can I do? What will the world give me? And the universe responds by providing experiences that align with your queries. If someone is always asking, why do things always go wrong for me? They'll run into obstacles everywhere. Conversely, if someone asks, what new opportunities will I find today? They'll notice doors opening in unexpected ways. This kind of questioning isn't passive. It's a creative force. The biggest breakthroughs in science, art, and spirituality didn't come from those who just accepted things as they were. They came from those who boldly asked, what if there's more? Every major discovery started with a question that hadn't been posed yet. The limits of knowledge, they come from your curiosity, not the world around you. Believing you already know everything puts a cap on your perception. When your mind is closed, it's like a locked room, recycling the same thoughts, the same explanations, the same outcomes. But when even one doubt creeps in, when you throw out an open-ended question, those walls start to fall. What if I'm wrong? What if there's something I haven't noticed? Those questions crack the illusion of certainty, allowing light to seep in. Consciousness grows not just by accumulating knowledge, but by letting go of fixed ideas. The mind clings to certainty because it feels safe, but that certainty can stifle growth. The deepest truths don't fit neatly into rigid conclusions. They come alive through openness, through the continuous journey of deeper inquiry. When you stop asking, you stop seeing. But if you keep an open mind, the universe reveals itself in ways the rational mind could never guess. Personal transformation follows the same pattern. The people feeling most trapped in their lives often don't realize they've stopped asking the important questions. They stop questioning and start to think their limits are real, their struggles unavoidable, and their past set in stone. Because they don't ask if there's another way, they never find it. But the moment they start to inquire, new doors swing open. A fresh path appears. A new insight comes into view. Not because reality has changed, but because their view of it has. Spiritual awakening isn't about discovering something new within you. It's about peeling away everything that's false. And this journey kicks off with the simplest yet most powerful question of all: who am I? It's a question that can't really be answered with words, yet it has the power to dissolve illusions that have stuck around for years. To ask it sincerely, without clutching for an instant answer, is to leap into the unknown. It's where identity begins to unravel, revealing something deeper. The same idea applies across the board. Someone grappling with fear might ask, how do I stop feeling this way? But digging deeper, they might ask, who is the one feeling this fear? A person searching for purpose might wonder, what should I do with my life? But they might find more meaning in asking, what is life asking of me? This shift in questioning might seem subtle, but it's powerful. It moves from trying to control things to allowing for discovery. The world doesn't impose meaning on you. It isn't a rigid structure with set rules dictating every outcome. It's alive, fluid, responding in ways that logic can't fully capture. The answers you get will always reflect the depth of the questions you're willing to explore. This is why the wisest minds don't claim to know it all. They stay in a state of wonder, always looking beyond assumptions and open to the next revelation. So what questions are shaping your reality? Are they opening doors or closing them? Are they reinforcing your existing illusions or guiding you into deeper mysteries? Perception, not situation, decides whether something is stuck or transformative, and how you investigate shapes that perception. Ask brave questions. Be curious. Don't expect quick answers. Ask to break down the barriers that stop you from seeing clearly. Your reality tomorrow will be shaped by the questions you ask today. Reality isn't just a fixed stage where things happen apart from us. No, it's fluid and changes based on our awareness. What we focus on tends to expand. Our expectations subtly shape what we see. The reality we live in isn't a random accident. It's an ongoing creation, molded by the quiet agreements between our minds and the universe. There's no real separation between our inner thoughts and the outer world. The line dividing our beliefs from our experiences is much finer than it seems. It's easy to think that life just flows on its own, that things happen randomly, and that the future unfolds beyond our influence. But the deeper truth is this: our awareness guides reality. Whatever we focus on consistently begins to materialize in our lives. This isn't merely wishful thinking or idle optimism. It's a principle of existence. Consciousness isn't apart from creation. It's how creation happens. Synchronicities and meaningful coincidences aren't just flukes. They're glimpses into a deeper order hiding beneath what feels chaotic. They show us that life isn't just a jumble of random events, but a complex web of meaning woven through our awareness. Those thoughts we dwell on, the feelings we linger in, and the beliefs we cling to, these are invisible forces shaping our experiences before they even surface. What looks random often has deep connections. What feels unexpected can just be the natural result of the energy we're putting out. There are moments when the sense of separation fades. Maybe it's when reality seems to respond to an unvoiced thought, or a door opens just when we need it. These moments aren't rare. They're happening all the time, but many go unnoticed. A distracted mind, one that's all over the place, misses these links. But a calm, aware mind that moves with intention starts to see that reality is always communicating. The big question is whether we're listening. To align with this deeper reality isn't about controlling it, it's about engaging with it. The world doesn't react to force, it responds to awareness. A scattered mind filled with doubt sends mixed signals into the universe. But a clear and focused mind creates a reality that reflects that clarity. That's why people who truly trust their path seem to glide through life effortlessly. They don't struggle against existence, they're in sync with it. Their thoughts, feelings, and actions harmonize, and the universe reflects that harmony back to them. Conscious creation isn't about forcing your will on reality. It's about realizing that reality is already shaped by will. The trick is to be intentional about what you're creating. Attention is the builder of experience. Where your awareness goes, energy flows. And where energy flows, form begins to take shape. That's why those who live in fear find more reasons to feel afraid. Those who hold on to resentment keep encountering situations that fuel that resentment. Those who see limitations face ongoing obstacles. Reality doesn't push back against the patterns we hold in our minds, it reflects them. To change your experience, you need to shift your awareness. This starts with refining your inner world, not trying to change the outside. The first step is clarity. What do you truly want? Not the fleeting desires, but what aligns with your true self. What reality feels most genuine? What state of being resonates beyond momentary wants? Without clarity, energy scatters, and without energy, nothing takes shape. Once you have clarity, the next step is unwavering focus, not obsession or desperation, but a steady attention on what you want to create. This is more than just thinking about it. It's about embodying it. It's not enough to wish for something. You have to step into that reality before it arrives. Powerful creators believe first, and then the evidence comes. The final step? Surrender. Most people struggle because they hold on too tightly, doubt too fast, and interfere with the natural flow of things already in motion. The greatest creators don't force things to happen. They let things unfold. They trust that reality is already shifting, responding to the energy they've tapped into. They move forward with confidence, not because they see the whole path, but because they believe the path will reveal itself as they go. Manifestation isn't about getting something. It's about becoming something. The outside world acts like a mirror, reflecting what you hold inside. If you wish for abundance but focus on lack, the mirror shows lack. If you seek love but cling to fear, the mirror reflects fear. But when you genuinely step into the reality you want, not just in thought, but in your very being, the world can't help but mirror that back. There aren't outside forces determining what's possible. There's no fixed script that dictates what comes next. There's only endless potential shaped by our awareness. The future isn't just waiting to be found, it's waiting to be created. The big question is whether you'll create it consciously or just let it happen by default, with either intention or resistance. Everything is connected. Every thought, every feeling, every action influences a larger web that goes beyond what we can see. When you truly get this, not just as a theory but as a part of your life, everything changes. Life stops being a struggle and starts being a co-creation. And when that shift happens, when you begin to see connections everywhere, a new way of living appears. You stop battling against the flow and instead become part of it. Now let's talk about Chapter 9, Beyond the Self, the Cosmic Mind. You're not just who you think you are. For as long as you can remember, you've seen yourself as a single mind in a single body, moving through an external world that seems separate from you. This identity feels personal, shaped by your memories and experiences. But what if that sense of separation is just an illusion? What if consciousness isn't broken into pieces? What if it's all part of something vast, all-encompassing, something cosmic? There's no real boundary between your mind and the universe. The thoughts that come to you aren't just random sparks in one mind. They're part of a vast ocean of awareness. Your mind isn't a separate island. It's more like a wave in a never-ending sea of existence. Believing in a separate self is a necessary trick for getting by in the physical world. But once you see beyond that, everything changes. The strong sense of me fades away into something bigger, something that's hard to fully understand. The identity you cling to starts to crumble, revealing that the same awareness you feel looking out from your own eyes is what animates everything. The trees, the stars, the breath in your lungs. There's no separation. The mind that wonders and questions is the universe reflecting on itself. This isn't just a theory to talk about, it's a real experience. This realization can melt away fear, ease the endless chatter of the ego, and bring deep peace. The self you've defended and shaped over the years, that's not your true self. It's just a mask, a role you've played in this grand story of existence. And when that mask comes off, what's left is something infinite, timeless, beyond the notion of self. Reality is stitched together with awareness, and love is the thread that holds it all. Not love as we often think of it, full of desire and attachment, but as the fundamental essence of existence. It's the unseen force that pulls everything together, guiding galaxies in their dance, creating harmony throughout all life. Love isn't something to chase, it's already here. It's the understanding that nothing was ever truly separate. To recognize the illusion of separateness is to see that everything is intertwined. The same consciousness that moves through you flows through every being, every form, every expression of life. The stranger walking by, they're just another version of that same awareness. Like a river working its way through stone, or a bird gliding freely above, or the distant stars shining down. Burning with an ancient flame, they aren't distant figures in a separate world. They are parts of you. They are you, just wearing different masks, speaking different languages, showing up in various shapes. When you realize this, the need for judgment fades away. Conflict disappears. Fear loses its strength, because you stop seeing yourself as separate. How can there be enemies? How can there be division? The pain of one becomes your pain. The joy of one becomes your joy. The illusion of mine and yours vanishes. You start to understand that everything, every experience, every person, every moment is part of the same unfolding whole. There's a deep paradox in this truth. The more you try to define who you are, the smaller you become. But when you let go of that need for identity, you expand. The self is just a doorway, not a final stop. It's a temporary expression of the infinite, a single note in a vast symphony of awareness. Holding on to it keeps you small, but letting go allows you to merge with everything. It helps you remember what has always been true. This is why the greatest awakening doesn't come from gaining more, but from letting go. letting go of separation, letting go of loneliness, letting go of the idea that you're just a fleeting being trapped in time. What you really are has no beginning or end. You're not just a part of the universe. You are the universe, looking out through human eyes, playing the game of form, before returning to the infinite field of awareness from which you came. So where does this realization take you? How do you live knowing there's no real separation, that all is one? The answer is simple. With love, with presence. Understanding that every encounter, every challenge, every moment is a chance to see yourself in others, to look beyond the surface. Move through life not as a separate struggle, but as life itself, flowing easily in harmony with everything. The journey beyond the self isn't about escaping, it's about returning. Returning to the awareness that's never been lost, just forgotten. Returning to the truth that everything is interconnected, that nothing has ever truly been apart. Remember this, there's only one consciousness moving through countless forms, endlessly creating and exploring, and right now, awakening to itself through you. You've always been consciousness, and you always will be. This realization can be the answer to all your searches for meaning, purpose, and truth. You've asked questions that go beyond what can be measured or even put into words. What is reality? What is consciousness? Who am I really? But the truth was never out there, in the stars or theories. It was always within you. Not the little identity shaped by memories and labels, but that deep awareness watching everything unfold through every joy, every sorrow, every breath. Reality isn't something that just happens to you. It's something that unfolds through you. You're not just a bystander, watching a story that was written before you arrived. You are the story. You are the author, the ink, the canvas. Every thought, perception, and belief is a brushstroke shaping your experience. The world doesn't follow a fixed path. It shifts and bends based on the awareness observing it. To understand this means waking up to a profound responsibility. It's no longer just about asking what is reality. Now it's about figuring out what reality am I creating. It's not enough to wonder about consciousness. Ask yourself, how am I using it? Awareness is not just passive. It's the driving force behind everything that takes shape. Each moment is a choice, a creation point where you can align with a deeper truth or stay stuck in illusion. The universe is a mysterious, infinite intelligence that's always expanding into new forms. And yet it's not separate from you. It's not some distant force that's hard to reach. It is you. The mind that questions, the heart that seeks, and the presence that simply is. These aren't pieces of something bigger. They are the whole, looking at itself through the finite. This understanding doesn't come with fanfare. It doesn't announce itself with a grand revelation. It appears in quiet moments, in the stillness between thoughts, and in the realization that nothing has ever been apart. The search has always been about this very awareness. Trying to grab hold of it only makes you miss it. Forcing it just clouds your vision. But when you let go and let it come forth naturally, that's when you truly see. So here's the question. How will you deal with this truth? Will you keep searching for answers out there? Or will you let that search wrap up, not in failure, but in the realization that you're not just a question waiting for an answer? You are the answer, waking up to itself.